everyone. How are we all going? It's Nicky from WIPM. I'm a bit excited today because I'm doing something a little bit different. I always get stuck talking to pest technicians or business owners, which is nothing wrong with that. But today I'm getting to talk to Jade Christian from BIZassist. She's a virtual administrator. And I've actually contacted Jade because you've had a little bit of a rap, Jade, in the pest industry. And one of the things I'm finding is, I'm going to be completely honest, I've never really wanted to go down the virtual admin side of things because I've always been completely like, oh, no, I'd rather have my own staff on board who know what they're talking about. They know about pest control. You know, they're the first point of sale when the customer rings up. But with you, you're a bit different. So this is why I wanted to get you involved, because you've actually been in the pest industry yourself. And what I want to do, I guess, find out a little bit more about you, but if you can just sort of tell me, you know, how you actually got to where you are now as a virtual admin.
Absolutely. So that is something that I actually hear a little bit as well. Like, some people are very reluctant to hand over the reins to somebody who they don't really know. So we try, yeah.
That is me.
yeah, you and plenty others as well. But we always try and get to know people. Like, you know, we consider our clients like family. So for our local clients and all of that, we're out having coffees and stuff like that whenever we can. Like, we're always catching up. And of course, the phone's always answered whenever it comes to one of our clients. So we're always, you know, checking in and making sure that we're doing the right thing by people. As far as kind of that problem there with that hiring staff thing, the biggest issue with it is that a lot of the time you don't actually have the hours to fill up a full schedule for somebody to be employed, which can be really frustrating. So you might only have like 5 to 10 hours of work a week, but you don't know when your phone's going to ring or something like that. So the good thing is about what we do is that we do sit there all day, and, you know, we've got our working hours, but we're only really accumulating the package hours or the hours that we're actively working for you as to what you get charged. So it turns out really well, and it makes it a lot easier not having to deal with things like, you know, workers insurance and stuff like that too. So it just makes it a little bit more straightforward. You know what you're getting in your invoice comes in, you pay that, and then you don't have to worry about it. And we've got experience in the industry, which, you know, because that experience is so thick, and not just myself, but also my business partner. So we're both industry specific experienced. So we know what questions to ask you to figure out what kind of things you want us to say. We know when to forward responses on, and we know when to say to somebody over the phone, hey, look, yeah, I know that you saw a rodent and your service was only yesterday, but if you just let me explain, it takes a couple of days for the bait to take effect. You might continue to see their activity, but it's not a physical barrier. So, you know, we kind of know the right things to say, and we know the right things, like when it's time to ask you as well to step in.
And that's been, I think, one of my biggest concerns with virtual admin is, how do you deal with those, you know, those technical questions and those customer complaints, and you know, and answer those questions. And it's always been a big worry for me with virtual admin. But saying that, I know I get calls constantly from people in the industry, from men and women, saying, how do you do it? Like, you know, especially those sole operators or the husband and wife teams, I'm finding are the ones that are struggling the most. There's, you know, they can't afford to put someone on full time.
Absolutely.
It's just not there. However, you know, they're stressed out and they're pulling their hair out, and they're like, well, what can we do? And so I'm starting to really, my mind's changing a lot with it, actually. And the more I look into it, the more I'm actually loving it, especially for those smaller businesses. Obviously, with you, it's an absolute bonus because you know the industry. So you've actually physically worked in a pest control business, answering the phones, and you loved it, which is a bonus.
I did, and, which is fantastic. And that's exactly it. So my experience kind of started in that environment, and kind of going back to dealing with people and complaints and stuff like that. I don't know how, but I had no choice but to really deal with a lot of complaints when I was in that full-time office environment. So I kind of developed a really good knack for helping to resolve those conflicts and stuff. So, you know, there were times where I would spend 30 minutes on the phone to somebody explaining that, no, you do have termites and they're not carpenter ants and your son's wrong.
Yeah.
And I can understand you're upset, and I know you're frustrated, and honestly, I'd recommend if you don't feel comfortable, get a second opinion, because I wouldn't want to put you in a position where we're going forth with an agreement that you think we're lying about. So get another opinion. And I ended up making best friends with that lady. Like, she loved us. She
I want to talk to you every time.
She did. She came in a few days later and apologized profusely, crying, saying, "I'm sorry, I was so rude on the phone." And all of that. I was just really worried. I was like, "I know you were worried, and it's okay. Like, we're here. We got you. It's okay." She went ahead with her agreement, and her termites are gone. So, you do find there are a lot of things that you find when you know the technical things. And I'm a really big believer in, you're going to get really stressed out and you're going to get really frustrated if you don't know how to handle something. But if you know how that thing works, if you know how that machine works, if you know why that thing's broken down, then you know how to fix it, and that's not going to be so stressful for you. So a lot of the time I know the right things to say to people. And if I don't know, I apologize and I find out. So which is just the best approach to have, I think.
Well, I've been in the industry for 12 years, and I still have to hang up the phone sometimes and ring upstairs to one of the boys and go,
absolutely,
what's happening here? And so you just, no one can physically know everything. We're all still learning.
And I don't think, like, I think it's silly to ever get to a point where you go, okay, then I'm done learning and there's nothing left for me to figure out. So I'm always open to that learning thing. I'm always open to finding out something else. Or if I don't know an answer to something, well, I'm going to go to somebody who does know the answer, and I'll come back to you as soon as I've got it.
Yeah. So I guess you don't just do pest control, obviously, with virtual admin. You've got, I guess, a range of different clients, because you actually like to, put yourself out there on a range of different different tradies. And is it mainly tradies that you're dealing with?
Mainly tradies, yeah. Funnily enough though, Nikki, like my work experience is really diverse. So I've been in hospitality, I've been in retail, I've been in pest control admin, I even had a stint in car sales for a while. Now, obviously the car sales one was the last one. I was like, I've had enough of these super duper long hours, and I know I can put my skills to better use than this. So I'm going to go and do something productive that I actually am going to enjoy. And that's why I started the virtual assistant business. Now, I've always had this approach of I can help anyone, because I really want to be able to do that. I know that I've got a special skill set when it comes to pest control though. So I've got plenty of pest control clients that I help, some of whom I love my clients. I've got the best clients. I really do. They're all fantastic. And I've got a wide range of clients outside of the pest control stuff too. So, I've got clients that, put up shade sales and cleaning and all sorts of stuff that just need help with little bits here or there. And that's one of the parts where our portfolio is really diverse in, is because we, if like for some of those clients, they just want us to write up their quotes and send them off because they don't want to do that. They don't want to sit in front of the computer and do that. And then we've got other clients where we're answering the phones all week. So, we just kind of custom things and tailor things to whoever it is that needs help and what it is that they need help with.
So to give people an idea, cost-wise, I guess, to go down the path of putting a virtual admin on. So do you charge per minute, per 15 minutes? Roughly, I guess that's one of the things that everyone wants to know. How much is it going to cost?
That's an awesome question, Nikki. So I'll hit on a few points with this one. So firstly, it's really worthwhile to remember that when you hire an employee, if you're hiring a full-time employee for $30 an hour, by the time that you factor in those other costs, the holiday pay, the sick pay, the workers' compensation and stuff like that, you're paying closer to $45. And that's before you put them in front of a computer and you set them up and you're paying a power bill and things like that too. So there are a lot of costs that people don't see that are also associated with hiring an employee. Now, on average, my clients will pay between $250 to $300 a week. So that's on average. That's my reception clients. Those are the people who I'm answering the phone for all week. So in terms of, if we break that down into the passive hours of assistance that I'm there, they're paying Buckleys. If you break that down into the active hours of assistance, you're actually on par with around about that 45, sometimes less, sometimes around that 45 mark. But it actually, for a lot of people, it works out a lot less.
So you said that's for, I guess, your basic administration. That's pretty much answering the phone,
Yep.
booking the jobs in.
jobs, things like that. Yeah.
Yep. So what do you do? Do you go further than that? Do you obviously start doing invoicing? Do you do any bookkeeping? How far do you go?
So there are some things that I can dabble in with aside from the obvious. So obviously, like, pretty much I look at myself as though virtual assistants, it has become a bit of a blanket term. So it's become a bit of an umbrella term for people who offer professional services outside of an office. Now, it has a lot of subsections. So basically, the way that I see our virtual assistant business is that we're like your offsite office. So if you had office women that you were calling back to, what would you want them to do? So if you called the office back and you said, hey, listen, I just finished at 12 Green Street, but I couldn't complete the external spray. Can you book in the external spray for me? Sure, no worries. Get on the phone to 12 Green Street and book that through. If you might put through the reports and that. If you wanted, we can certainly do that. So our packages are completely tailored. So we'll put it all together based on what it is that client actually wants. So some of our clients will have us do their invoicing. Some of them do their own invoicing, but they're having us answer the phones, book in the jobs, and do things like that. We do reminders, we chase overdues. It's not my favorite job,
no one likes doing that.
But I'm happy to do it. I tend to have a pretty good knack when it does come to the overdues. Like I've kind of figured out a really good system with trying to get people on the phone and admitting who they are first, and then kind of going down that route. So we can help like pretty much everywhere from the first inquiry all the way to chasing an overdue account. We can help with that whole process. We do, like, there are some clients that I have who I assist with pay slips and that with through Xero and everything, but I'm not a bookkeeper. So I always make that really clear. I'm not a qualified bookkeeper.
So you can do the basic like payroll.
That's right.
But you don't like doing the reconciliations and everything.
That's it. But I'm here as like your customer service specialist, I suppose. Like, we're here as the first point of contact all the way to the last point of contact.
I think I want to hire you now. I won't say that to my girls in the office. But, I'm feeling, I want to hire you now. So I think that's the hardest thing too, I guess. Can you give some points on someone who is looking for a virtual admin, and I'm going to be honest, people are going to see this and go, we want her because she knows about the pest control industry, but there's only so many clients that you can take on.
That is true.
It's hard. What do you look for in a virtual admin, like ringing around and trying to find the right person? It's really quite hard.
Yeah. It is a really good question. As far as kind of my experience goes, I've worked with other virtual assistants. So I, subcontract with and subcontract for some other virtual assistants as well. I do think that when it comes to pest control, it is really important to get people who either already know or are willing to learn. So not everybody, and I've had this with some of my clients who've used who used virtual assistants previously, and some of their biggest gripes is that they've offered assistance in letting those virtual assistants to learn. They've offered to pay these people to learn more, and they haven't wanted to do it. So if it's somebody who doesn't know about pest control, make sure, of course, they tick all your boxes. They're going to get along with you in personality. They're going to get along with you. They're organized and all of that. But make sure that they're willing to learn if they don't already know the trade, because it's so important that you've got that information.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about putting a mail on? And I ask this because, we always get, have you thought about putting a female technician on? But I know even for some of our clients who ring in the office, when they get one of our, our service techs or something, like answering the phone, and it's a male, sometimes it's a sigh of relief for them. They think, oh, this person knows what I need, or they know what they're doing. Have you thought about putting a male admin on?
I would never not put a male admin on. I think I would absolutely give the job, like if a position ever came up within our business, I think that position would go to whoever was the best qualified for the job. Absolutely. Whoever is going to do a good job, so long as they are organized, they are polite, and they are there to put 110% in, because that's what our clients deserve. Absolutely. Open doors.
Because we've just been putting on new admin at the moment, and I've always thought I'd love to get a male admin on, because just sort of, it's a bit like, I guess, when, women go to the doctors and they specifically ask, they go, well, can I have a female doctor? And I think it's the same, even in our industry. Like, some people do get a little upset because, they say, oh, we don't want the female, we want the male. But then I sort of look at it, well, I guess everyone has the right to have a preferred,
yeah, it's kind of hard, I suppose. Well, that's right. And I think some people are going to have their preferences one way or another, and some people are going to look at a female mechanic and go, she doesn't know what she's doing, and some people are going to look at a male nurse and go, he's weird. But that's all up to them. At the end of the day, I really think, like, if you can do a good job, what's it matter?
Yeah, exactly. I love that you've come on board, and for those who are watching this video, Jade is she is involved in the pest industry, and you are on the Australian Pest Managers Network. I shouldn't say that; you'll probably get bombarded with questions. But
well, I do have one or two positions at the moment available for reception support clients. So if you're interested, definitely get in touch.
It's first in.
Absolutely.
So, are you thinking about growing? I mean, I could see like your business just expanding, and we're having a little bit of a chat about this before we went on, and it's something that I'm quite passionate about, because I actually thought about going out on my own and starting an administration business, and training the administrators in pest control so they understood what they were talking about. I realize it's a lot of work involved, but you're almost there. Like you are starting to get all those policies and procedures in place and making sure you're getting the right people on. At this stage, it's just you and somebody else?
Just me and my business partner at the moment. So we both have pest industry experience. We both actually come from years of administration in pest control. So it's really lucky, and we get on like a house on fire. Like, it's fantastic. So and the two of us, it kind of works out really well in that whatever one of us isn't good at, the other one is good at. So wherever I lack, she makes up, and wherever she lacks, I make up. It works out really, really well. So at the moment we still have vacancies with her as well. We do tend to have like a little bit of a preference, like I'll take certain clients and she'll take certain clients, and I've got a real preference for service mates, so I'm all over those clients, and she's really, really good with formatise, which I can't stand. So I'm like, all the formatise clients can go to her.
Oh no, that's awesome. How do you get into the role of, like, obviously understanding the business, like when the phone comes through, obviously which business is calling through, because there would all be different lines, I'm assuming, with coming through. Do you ever stuff up? Do you ever go like, oh God, wrong business, I've answered the wrong one?
Very, very rarely. Like, I think there's been like one or two occasions, like sometimes I'll answer the phone and there'll be a and then I've got it. Then I'm back. Then I'm like, okay, I remember. But I color code everything because it helps me to organize what I'm doing. So I've got like all of my clients, they have their own colors in everything that I've got. They've got their own colored, like desktops and like backgrounds and stuff like that. So everything is, and I see the color. That's all I need to see.
Oh, cool.
And I see the color, and I'm just like, that's who I am right now.
So when you run out of colors, that's it. No more clients.
That's it. No more clients. When we reach the end of the rainbow, we can't take on anyone else.
I know, because we've got like Laguna Pest Control and Parisian Pest Control, and sometimes you'll pick it up and go, but Laguna Pest Control. It's just but it does get, like, with us, a little bit confusing. We're integrating ours now because it's we've only got two, and I'm thinking you've got roughly how many pest control businesses have you got on at the moment? I
usually alternate 3 to 4 pest control clients on reception support.
But
of course we do offer those other services as well. So we've got a lot of fill-in jobs here or there where we're doing other things throughout the day for people. Or, there's even a couple, because of my experience with car sales, I've got a few like, lead qualifying tasks and things like that for other people too. So there's a few things that I kind of throw in there throughout my day, but for the most part, we do have a really strong foothold with our pest control
so you're New South Wales based. Do you try and get mainly New South Wales clients because you kind of know, or do you do Australia wide? Like, because I know that pest control is so different from state to state.
I service people all over the place, and it's been really interesting because I've learned things about Queensland pest control that aren't the same in New South Wales. So it's really, really odd, but it's also, it's nice because I'm getting to learn something different. I'm freshening up my experience with pest control, which I like. So there's definitely that asset, that that thing there where we are servicing people all over Australia. I've got clients in Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane as well. And Sunshine Coast as well. So one of the things that I do try to focus on is, if you're as an example, like we're talking about pest control, of course. So if you're a pest controller and you service all of Sydney, then we're exclusive to you. So we're not going to then work for your competitor as well. And that's something that we're both really passionate about, because we want to make sure that our clients know we've got their back. You know, we're not going to hang up on a client and call them from a different line.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly,
you know, we do have that exclusivity as well when it does come to our clients. So there are a few positions like that are a little bit closed off at the moment.
Yep.
Or that, you know, are undergoing change at the moment. So we're just kind of, you know, gravitating a little bit with all of that. But yeah, it is something that most people, I think, tend to appreciate more than anything. I do like sticking to New South Wales clients where I can, just because we're a little bit closer. And, you know, we're in the same time zone, which works out really well. New South Wales has ridiculous timing.
Daylight savings and things like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so there's that. And we get the same public holidays, which works out really well too.
Yeah, you don't want to work on a public holiday.
Yeah.
Do you get many, like people who are going away for a month and they just need someone to answer those phones?
The odd one here or there. Yep, the odd one here or there. I think for the most part, a lot of pest controllers who might not know that we exist or know that we're specialised where we do, won't think to do that, because I think they just imagine there's going to be so much training involved in getting somebody else on that it's not. This is
what I love, because I know that is a huge stress for so many people in the industry, and we've got a lot of friends in the industry who are husband and wife teams, and they're going away for a couple of weeks, and it's like, oh, and I know I used to do it, would go away and you just can't switch off, you're answering the phones, and it's a blessing to go, well, I don't have to worry about that for a couple of weeks, and jobs are still getting booked in, ready for when you get back.
You're not missing anything in that time. You're not having to close the business down for a few weeks and annoy any of your clients by, you know, having that message when they call saying that we're not here at the moment and we'll call you back in 3 weeks. But we actually have 2 clients at the moment who are traveling around Australia, and we're taking care of their admin work while they're traveling around, which is awesome. Like, I think that's fantastic.
I think you could almost charge double for that, and people go, I am paying just so we can have some time off work. And,
that's right.
And I just think that a lot of people think virtual admin, they do think it's, you know, just an ongoing thing, but I think it really does open up to those people who need to be able to have that break but have work to come back to.
Absolutely, because that's the most important thing. You spend all this time building up your business. The last thing that you want is to take a couple of weeks off and then essentially feel like you're starting back from scratch, or, you know, that there's this big divot in what should be your client base at the moment, and you're losing a bunch of income. Like, it's not fair. So, and that's, you know, we really center around trying to take as much pressure as we can off the business owner. We don't want to be harassing you every 10 seconds, which is why we put a lot of effort into training ourselves before we even start the job. So we set everything up before we've even started. So we've got that rough idea. We know how to answer the phones confidently and competently, and to actually do the job that you need us to do, while not really chasing our own tails and feeling and looking a little bit silly or unprofessional. So again, if there's ever anything that we're not sure about, we always try to find out. So if we need to, we'll, you know, let people know over the phone, I'm really sorry, I do apologize. I'll get in touch with the business owner, I'll pass on your inquiry and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, for the most part, if for every kind of inquiry, we might only need to do that once. You know, so if somebody calls and asks about a service that I'm not sure whether or not we do, then I've inquired about that, and now I know for next time.
I think, you know, you're onto a winner, because you actually do create that relationship with the business owner, and you know about the business, and that's half the battle. It really is. So, well, Jade, thank you so much for jumping on. You've actually done an article for us as well, which is in the newsletter, but I really wanted to get you on, because this is something that it's really starting to get more of now. Like, more and more tradies are going down the virtual admin side, and definitely you've converted me just by talking to you. But the problem is, I would want you now after talking to you. I want this person. And there's only one of you, so you just might have to expand.
Or two of you, I'll throw my clients over to my business partner.
And I'd like to keep in touch, because I think that you are a wealth of knowledge, and thank you very, very much. And we'll be in touch.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me, Nicky. It's been an absolute pleasure. And, you know, anytime, if there's ever anything we can do, just don't hesitate to get in touch.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Jade. Thanks very
No
much.
worries. Thanks, Nikki. Bye.
Bye.